Mr. President, as you know, it was not long ago that authorities entered the clinic of Dr. Kermit Gosnell, and there they found a torture chamber for born-alive little babies that defies description within the constraints of the English language. It was a revelation so ugly and evil that it casts an indelible stain of shame upon all of us. According to the grand jury report, Dr. Kermit Gosnell had a simple solution for unwanted babies who were born alive in spite of his best efforts. He simply killed them after they were born. He didn't call it that. He called it ensuring fetal demise. Now, the way he ensured fetal demise was by sticking scissors in the back of the baby's neck and cutting the spinal cord. He called it snipping. Over the years, there were hundreds of snippings. These were born alive children, Mr. President. Ashley Baldwin, one of Dr. Gosnell's employees, said she saw babies breathing, and she described one as 2 feet long who no longer had eyes or a mouth, but in her words was making like this screeching noise. For God's sake, Mr. President, is this who we truly are? Now, the United States House of Representatives responded to this gut-wrenching atrocity by passing H.R. 3504, the Born Alive Bill, to give effective federal protection to these little children who are born alive. More than 90% of the American people support this kind of legislation, Mr. President. Yet when you were in the state legislature, you actually voted no 4 times on this same type of bill that would have protected crying, kicking, breathing babies after they were born alive. And you know better than almost anyone that there were and still are no criminal penalties in federal law for either negligently or deliberately killing these little, living, breathing, born-alive human babies. Because as President of the United States and leader of the free world, you arrogantly wrote to Congress telling us you would veto the Born Alive bill to protect born-alive babies if it ever reaches your desk. What a heartless legacy, Mr. President. Since your bold letter declaring you would veto the Born Alive bill after it passed the House of Representatives, we have been unable to get Senate Democrats to allow a vote or even a debate in the United States Senate on this bill to protect innocent born alive babies from being deliberately subjected to cruel and torturous death. Mr. President, that's crying, kicking, breathing, born alive human babies in the United States of America. They are the most desperate and helpless of all human traffic victims in the world. They are the most desperate and helpless of all refugees on earth just trying to cross the border into the sunshine of life. And they are the most desperate and helpless of all little orphans in the entire human family. Yet, Mr. President, you and Hillary Clinton, along with many of your friends on the left, have labored for all these decades to convince the world that born children and unborn children should be completely separated in our minds. That while born children are persons worthy of protection, unborn children are not persons and are not worthy of protection. But now that you have unconscionably chosen to oppose this bill to protect born children, you suddenly have the impossible task of trying to join born children and unborn children back together again, and then trying to convince the American people that a crying, kicking, breathing, born alive premature baby is not a little human child worthy of our protection as a nation after all, and should be just thrown in the garbage like all the rest. To any American voter who has not invincibly hardened his or her heart into stone, this is a merciless absurdity. And you know, Mr. President, there's a moment in the life of every people when they make a decision deep in their souls, either to stand up and declare themselves protectors of our society's most innocent victims, like these little born-alive babies, or to follow leaders like Hillary Clinton and yourself into that Sumerian darkness where the light of human compassion has gone out and the survival of the fittest has prevailed over humanity. It now appears that that moment has indeed come upon America in the approaching November election. Because if Hillary Clinton is elected president, it is absolutely certain that, like you, she will oppose and even veto this born alive legislation if it ever gets to her desk. Now I believe that the vast majority of the American people, and maybe the younger generations in this country especially, still hold themselves to be protectors of innocent born alive little babies, and will therefore reject Hillary Clinton at the polls. However, there will still be a few who, even after seeing this open video message to you, will still vote for Mrs. Clinton, and thereby keep your inhuman policies toward these little born-alive children the status quo for many more years to come. But to paraphrase England's great William Wilberforce, they may choose to look the other way, but they can never again say they did not know. And Mr. President, neither can you.